Hello students, I am Dr. Himanshu Kanpal, Assistant Professor English, Government MS College for Women, Bikaner. In the previous video, we have discussed the poem Rabbi Ben Ezra by Robert Browning till stanza 10th. We will continue the poem with stanza 11. The poem is in the form of a dramatic monologue and the great rabbi is the speaker in the poem. The poem expresses Browning's philosophy of life regarding both youth and old age. For pleasant is this flesh, our soul in its rose mesh pulled over to the earth, still yearns for rest. Would we some prize might hold to match those manifold possessions of the brute, gained most as we did best. In these lines, Rabbi says that the life of the flesh has its own pleasures and charms. Our soul is a prisoner in a beautiful body, hence, the poet calls it a rose mash. Browning compares the body to a net made of roses. The earthly pleasures are charming like roses, and they ensnare, they charm the human soul. The body drags down the soul towards earthly pleasures. Our soul in its rose mash pulled over to the earth. Body drags soul to pleasures while soul struggles for spiritual advancement, while the soul struggles to rise upwards. Torn by this conflict, the soul yearns for rest. The rabbi wishes that the soul should get some reward for its upward advancements equal to the joys of the brute. Would we some prize might hold to match those manifold possessions of the brute. The possessions of the brute means the pleasures of the flesh for which the brute has to wage no struggle. The brute gets its pleasures without any struggle or spiritual striving, and so the joys of the brutes are called possession. The human soul, on the other hand, has to struggle against the lure of the flesh for spiritual advancement and its reward. Its pleasures must be proportionate to its struggles. So, a human being gain a reward proportionate to his spiritual struggles. Stanza 12. Let us not always say, spite of this flesh today, I strove, made head, gained ground upon the whole. As the bird wings and sings, let us cry, all good things are ours, nor soul helps flesh more now than flesh helps soul. In this stanza, Rabbi says that let us not always say spite of this flesh today. The stanza contains the very core of Browning's philosophy. Both the body and soul are the gifts of God. Hence, both of them have their own value and significance. Man should not think and act as if there were a hostility between the soul and the flesh. He should think that he has made spiritual progress in spite of retarding influence of the flesh. I strove, made head, gained ground upon the whole. Such a spirit shows ingratitude to God. As a matter of fact, the soul and body are not antagonistic to each other. It is an ideal situation that both body and soul work together. Rather, they perfect each other. So, man should, as the bird wings and sings, let us cry, all good things are ours, nor soul helps flesh more now than flesh helps soul. Rather, they perfect each other. They are not opposed to each other. So, man should sing cheerfully like a bird that God has created such beautiful things of the world for his enjoyment that the flesh and the soul help each other in their spiritual advancement, and that both are equally necessary. Thus, it becomes clear that Browning, in this poem, advocates neither sensual indulgence nor an ascetic denial of the flesh. The ideal, according to him, is that both body and soul should work together, each for the other's good. We will move on to the stanza 13. Therefore I summon each to grant youth's heritage. Life's struggle having so far reached its term, thence shall I pass, approve, a man for air removed from the developed brute, a god though in the germ. Therefore, I summon each. Youth is a period when men struggle hard to acquire knowledge and experience. Youth is a period of preparation. So to say, for the wisdom and wider outlook which comes with old age. Therefore, I summon age. Age means it is a period of preparation to grant youth's heritage, wisdom which youth should acquire in old age. The wisdom is the heritage of youth, to which the youth is entitled by virtue of its struggle for knowledge and experience. Wisdom and widened outlook which youth should acquire in old age. Therefore, the poet calls upon old age to grant youth, now stepping into maturity, which comes with age, the wider outlook and capacities with which the youth has become fitted at this stage. Life struggles have so far reached its term. It is the time, youth is the time when a person is involved in life struggle. So far reached its term, it has reached the stage of old age. Thence shall I pass, approve, a man from air removed from the developed root, a god though in germ. So the struggles of youth, struggles for knowledge and experience, entitled him to be called a man in the real sense of the world. So Rabbi here feels that the struggles in life are important to acquire knowledge and experience, which entitle him to be called man in the real sense of the world. It is these aspirations which distinguish him from the brute. It is through these struggles alone that he can achieve manhood in the real sense and become a god, though in the embryo, though in the germ. It is only in this sense that his soul is purified of evil and the good in him is developed. It is only in this way that the divine element, the spiritual element in him is developed and he gets nearer to God. Youth is the time of preparation, youth is the time of struggle, youth is the time when a man tries to cultivate his spirituality, his spiritual self, and that is how he gets nearer to God. And that is the thing that differentiate him from the brute. We move on to the stanza 14. And I shall thereupon take rest, I be gone once more on my adventure brave and new, fearless and unperplexed, when I wage battle next, what weapons to select, what armor to endure. Old age is a period of rest. Man has struggled hard in his youth and pauses in his struggles and take rest in his old age. In this way, he recoups his energy and prepares himself for fresh struggle in life to come. His struggle in the next world is bound to be an easier one. Once more on my adventure, brave and new, youth is the preparation for old age, fearless and unperplexed. So, life in this world is a preparation for life in the other world. He would not have many cares and worries, for he knows what is good for him and how he should struggle for it. He would go fearlessly to his battles in the next world. In the other world. For now he knows what weapons he should use and how he should protect himself from evil and temptation. So, according to Browning's philosophy, just as youth is a preparation for old age, so life in this world is a preparation for life in the other world. We move on to the stanza 15. Youth ended, I shall try my gain or loss thereby. Leave the fire ashes, what survives is gold, and I shall weigh the same. Give life its praise or blame. Young, all lay in dispute, I shall know being old. The rabbi further says that now that his youth is over, youth ended, I shall try my gain or loss thereby. Is over and he has grown old. He is in a position to look back calmly at his life and form a correct estimate of his success or failure. I shall try, I shall calculate my gain or loss thereby. In old age, he will estimate success and failure. Leave the fire ashes. Fire ashes means wasted energies and passions of youth. He has gained wisdom and understanding, so he now knows that though the passions of youth and energies have been lost, leave the fire ashes. What survives is gold. If we leave the wasted energies and passions of the youth, what survives now is there is left behind the pure gold of wisdom and experience. He can now calmly assess his life and just what has been praiseworthy in it and what is bad and undesirable, fearless and unperplexed. And I shall weigh the same, give life its praise or blame. Young, all lay in dispute, I shall know being old. In youth, remained lost in doubts. He could not judge the real worth and significance his life. Now that he has grown old, he has acquired the necessary discrimination to form a correct estimate of his own life. Thus, old age is valuable. When I give life its praise or blame, young or lay in dispute, I shall know being old. Now that he has grown old, he has acquired the necessary discrimination to form a correct estimate of his life. Thus, old age is valuable. It is the period of calm thinking when a man judges dispassionately of his own achievements, form a correct estimate of his own achievements. So, this is about the poem Rabbi Ben Ezra, and we will continue with the stanza 16 in our next video. Thank you.